Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. As always, we're going to dive into Bitcoin for the Sunday stream. And this stream's going to review all the time frames as we have quite a bit to review and assess. We're at a critical point, and I think it's important to manage expectations, which is the purpose of Elliott waves and the reason why I use them. So let's jump into the charts. Yet, before we do that, if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any videos and also help support us. And also, please head on over to my Twitter for a follow as well, so you'll get more frequent updates on price action and also to help support me as well. Now, again, I want to take a look at all time frames. So we're going to start on the higher time frame here, the long-term time frame, and discuss basically two things. We are bullish, we know that, but we need to understand how bullish are we. There's two counts that we have. Either we are in a regular impulse where we get that pullback, or there's potential that we are in a 1 2 1 2 1 2. Then we get a large expansion. Then we get cascading 3 4 3 4s 3 4s. So let's take a look at that. From a moderate perspective, that's the best approach. We can take a look at this as a regular impulse. We moved up for 1, retrace for 2, moved up for 3, retrace for 4, and now we're completing our wave 5. We're reaching that point of termination where we're going to get that pullback. However, there is a potential that we are in a triple 1 2. The thing that's really going to invalidate this ultimately is a time perspective. This is a primary correction. This is an intermediate correction. Next, we expect a minor correction. And we expect it to be somewhat moderate in strength. We don't really expect it to be large, because that would really negate the 1 2 1 2. And typically, they usually get smaller and smaller and smaller. So if we don't get a moderate retrace, or if it exceeds the completion of timing of the prior degree, again, this will completely invalidate this. So this correction to come here, either a small one or a large one, it's really going to provide the higher time frame narrative. Again, 1 2 1 2, or just a regular impulse. Now, although we expect somewhat of a decent push up here before a considerable decline in price, there is the worst case scenario. What do I mean by that? Well, essentially, we could literally just take this high, and that could be the completed fifth wave. As of right now, we're looking for this to be a wave 1. But with the fractal nature of Elliott wave, this could be a wave 5. And again, that could be our point of reversal right here, where we come back down. And ultimately, if we take this low, that's the given. That's going to be the key factor here to really signal that we are in a wave of a intermediate degree, or if we're in an A wave of a minor degree. So We really have to wait and see. And it's going to be tricky because the one thing is we expect that push up for that 1, just like we just said. Afterwards, we expect a retrace like this for 2. However, it could start to really dip down, morph into a 3, into a 4, into a 5 for that A. This is when things are going to get a little tricky. The only way we know for sure is that once this happens, once it takes that high, that is for sure. That means we're definitely in a 3, waiting for a 4, and we're in a 5th. Because there's no way a correction could end, the impulse could end here if it took the high like this. The only way is if it could be a diagonal that's ending. That would be the only way, which could happen, right? But it's more likely that we would be in a wave 3. So things are getting a little tricky here. Personally, again, I do expect us to push up. I expect us to push up, retrace, push up, retrace, and push up. I expect a considerable move up for a minor degree wave 5. The reason being is that if we zoom out again, and break down the structures of the impulses, where did you go? Here we are. All of these impulses, this 1 and the 3, particularly the subway structures, the 5th wave was extremely extended. And when that happens, it's usually indicating that all of those subway structures be the same thing. And honestly, again, we're reaching a point where there's almost not mass euphoria, but crypto is really, really tracking right now in legacy news, media news, social media news. It's just everywhere. That could be, again, the catalyst saying the top is in. And again, we do expect that top to relatively be in very closely. I just don't think we're there yet. So, given the prior structures, I expect another large, expensive 5th wave. That's primary expectations. Let's jump into the lower turn time frame here. So basically, now that we have this 3 completed and this wave 4 completed, we can really gauge the strength of this wave 5. Now again, we could even say there's potential. We could just get one more push up again, and that's it. And instead of this being a 1, this is actually the 5th wave. But I expect a little bit more. So given that, target-wise, it's likely that we're going to probably hit a second extension. Potentially even move all the way up to a full double extension. I just don't really expect it. Again, I like to project moderately, and then we wait for subway structure for confirmation. What I mean by that is, once this 1 is in, and we get a wave 2, if we get a large 1, then a small retrace for 2, then again, we can expect price to push up for another 3, because usually 3s are the largest, pull back for a 4, and then push up for a 5. Then we need that retrace, that companion, for the 4 and the 5th. So this is where subway structure really helps manage expectations. Either we get that large expansive 3, or we get that moderate 3, Then we look for that companion correction. Then we get a push up for the fifth wave. This is what subway structure is really there to help with. Determining how many highs and lows are left, and determining the strength of the expansion and how much to expect. Also, what's going to help is alternation. You know, if this is sharp, we'll know to expect shallow and vice versa. And that has been extremely, extremely helpful for this entire price leg up. This was a shallow correction. And going back in our YouTube videos, we were expecting this to be a sharp correction, meaning we were expecting this high to be maintained, and we were expecting downward pressure until this was completed as a sharp correction. Then take the high. Moving into a smaller degree, a minor degree. Same thing here. Go back in the YouTube videos. This was potential shallow, looking for a sharp correction. Here, this is a sharp correction. We were projecting a shallow correction, a flat. So alternation does help. It is extremely helpful and very, very underrated. A lot of people don't understand that structure is more important than time, and it's more important than price. That's really the hierarchy, in my opinion. Structure allows price to engage in sponsored expansions when time and price are aligned. It gives meaning to time and price. So we're going to be using alternation, and once this wave 1 is ended, we can also project the termination of this wave 3, which will get us even closer to our targets for this wave 5. Let's go down to the lower term time frame here. Let's see. Last time that we were here, was it last Sunday? Because it's every Sunday, right? It's pretty much right here. Yep. We pretty much said that we were expecting this high to be taken. That was highly probable. And then once this high was taken, we were going to take this low. After that, it was about managing expectations. It was either going to be one more low or two more lows for 3 and a 5th. And then I said, once we take this high back, it's going to be important. It's going to literally signal that market structure shift. It's going to signal that this 4 is in. Pretty much that's exactly what happened here. Got the high, got the low, got the shift. Now it's about managing expectations for this wave 1. There's a few ways that I can see this. This is where things get tricky. So either, let's start with the moderate approach. Again, I preach the moderate approach. So moderately speaking, this is how I have it. As of right now, if we don't get a push up, a significant push up, this will be invalidated to me because we're getting pretty extended in time for this minuet wave 5, the green degree. It's getting really extended in time. Everything's valid. And when I go back and try to review the subway structure, this is pretty much the only way I can see it. Otherwise, we'd have to force a completed impulse, force this one here, and I'll show that shortly. Or this is another wave 1, which I'll show shortly as well. But moderately speaking, looking for significant swing structures, meaning significant, still waiting for this 5th to really be fledged out as a 5th wave impulse based off of significant swing structures. Based off of the prior structures, we had a large expensive wave 1. Then we had a moderate wave 3. given this wave 3, smaller than this wave 1, now we have to expect this wave 5 to be smaller than this wave 3, based off of the rules of Elliott wave. So this wave 3 is going to be a baseline. This is the strength of wave 3, meaning we want this fifth wave to end below this area. And it kind of falls in line with what we're expecting as well. We need a third, we need a fourth, and we still need a fifth. And again, the more we continue in time, the more this becomes less probable. So we need either an immediate move up or we're about to reject. I'm just going to touch on this 1, 2, 1, 2 because it's pretty much the same thing. But again, either 1, 2, 1, 2, and this has a good narrative because they're both complex, sharp zigzags, which typically what happens in a 1, 2, 1, 2. Either they're both sharp, or one is shallow, and the other one is shallow as well, and they both move up. But again, now it's in a triple 1, 2, meaning it really needs to start moving up aggressively if it's in a triple 1, 2 as of right now. So that one we'll put on the back burner because again, on the higher time frame, we really don't expect it to go here. Let me bring it up. We really don't expect it to go beyond this area completion right here. And if we were in a 1, 2, 1, 2, that would bring it way above here for those 3, 4, 3, 4s, which it could happen, right? That's where the subway structure is going to help if it's just never-ending expansive and impulsive nature. And especially if it goes beyond this baseline right here. Now, the last thing is we'd have to force the impulse to be completed, which is something I don't want to do because it just doesn't look pretty any way you try to place this impulse. However, it really just depends. And to be honest with you, this low right here is pretty much going to be, I think, the do or die. If not, definitely this low. We take this low, I think that's a confirmed market structure shift, and we are heading down in a flat pattern. It's an A into a B, then we move down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or a C. Immediate support, 99 to 102. It's likely where I would expect it to end. So, just taking it all in, let me see, this is 111. Let me put a mark here. We take this low. We know that we're in a C of a flat. If we move up and correct, likely, and I'm talking like a considerable correction right here, like this, likely that this is a 3, into the 4, into the 5th. And we don't want price to extend beyond pretty much 111.2. If it moves up and it's more minor correction like that and keeps going up, minor correction like that, and exceeds this line, we could be in that triple 1-2 scenario. What I think is more likely is either regular impulse or the flat. And lastly, I would be looking at a triple 1-2. These are pretty much going to be my expectations moving forward. But I'm going to update you guys in Discord, as always, when there's significant price action, and just to update you in the daily so we're aware what's going on. If you guys liked the video, please like it. That does help. And also, again, please subscribe if you're not subscribed. That helps out a lot as well. Please stop by the Twitter. Drop a follow for me there. That also helps. And as always, I appreciate you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll probably update you guys later tonight as well. But as always, if you have questions, just ping me and I'll get back to you. But hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch everybody later. See ya.